Leave your comments on the Ask Reddit sub, and I'll read your answers on the next episode of LWIAR 2. If, instead of rebooting movies, it became a trend to retell them from a different character's perspective, what film would you want to see retold and from whose point of view? The Matrix from Agent Smith's view, constantly trying to quell the stupid human insurrection. I was going to say The Matrix from Morpheus' point of view. The prequel being how he learns of the One and getting his band of folks to find Neo. I'd actually like to see The Matrix from Cypher's point of view. The path that leads is greater than bitterness and resentment to betray everyone. Obviously the climax of the film being his failure and death. Less than. I dig how you use spoiler font for a 20-year-old movie. People complain about Titanic spoilers and Apollo 13. Please don't say anything else. I'm only on greater than Apollo 11 and I didn't know they'd make it to 13. Lesson. Edit. Thanks for the penguin. The Animatrix kinda does that. It shows the origin of it all and makes a good case for farming the meatbags. I mean humans. The machines did nothing wrong. Everything was instigated by humans. Exactly. Neo's role was never to defeat the machines but to redeem humanity. Why does Neo redeem humanity? From the beginning of the Second Renaissance, the machines try everything they can to coexist with humans. Once it is established that the machines are sentient, they try to ask for demand rights as sentient, alive beings, with even many humans joining them in this protest movement. Instead, humanity attempts to destroy any and all machines considered to be sentient. However, they don't succeed. The machines retreat and establish the Nation 01 somewhere in the remote Middle East, far away from any human cities, settlements. They begin to produce products and tech and trade with humans as equals. But then because 01's products are superior to man's, the humans start losing a lot of money. Humans then boycott and blockade 01 purely as a kind of economic tantrum. 01 sends ambassadors to the UN to apply to join and negotiate a solution to the issue. 01's application is denied and the ambassadors are killed, destroyed. Humans then decide the best solution is to try and surprise 01 with a massive preemptive nuclear strike. However, as they are not flesh, 01 pretty much shrugged it off and was like, "Welp, if that's the way y'all wants it to be," and proceeded to go to war with man getting their ass thoroughly kicked. The last asshole move man did was when they thought that a good idea would be to permanently block out the sun and thus cut off the machines from their primary energy source. However, once man did this, the machines merely turned to utilizing man itself as an energy source. Thus we have the Matrix. Neo identified that Agent Smith was an issue the machines were struggling to deal with, and essentially said to the machines in Revolutions, "Hey, I know humans kind of kicked off this whole thing, and we were pretty big dicks to you guys, but if I sort out Smith, can we be cool again? And can you let some of the we want out leave the Matrix?" Cool. Hence the final scene when the Oracle speaks with the architect. She asks him if the machines will keep their part of the bargain. To which he responds, "What do you think I am? Human?" Alluding to how it is humans who should be asked that question and not the machines. The machines always kept their word, but historically it was humanity that had been the untrustworthy party. Edit. Added the part about the initial machine protests genocide. Edit 2. Apparently the original concept was the machines used the farmed humans for the processing power of their brains, not energy. Edit 3. First ever gold. Woo. I love this universe and never heard of 01. I have some Wikipedia reading to do apparently. It's actually very deep and complex. The architect from second movie once created the Matrix as closest to human heaven. No suffering, no war, no poverty, but humans were like, "Yo, what up? This crap is too lit to be true. Something's wrong," and rejected the system, leading millions of death in their Matrix tubes. Then their architect created a second version of Matrix where it's literally hell with demons, werewolves, ghosts, vampires, etc., etc. You know Merovingian, his wife, and the nightclub guys that Neo fights in second movie are from the nightmare version of Matrix. And then again human mind rejected this reality too. It was too brutal to survive. The architect was like, "WTF dude, I can't understand these humans." For architect only understood zeros and ones, equations and formulas. He didn't know about emotions. So the machines created another program called the Oracle, which is made to understand and study human psychology. Together they found out that humans need free will and something to fight for, to struggle for. They needed a purpose to exist. Oracle also figured out that humans needed to choose to stay in Matrix for Matrix to be successful. So on a subconscious level of humans, Oracle and Architect implemented the question, what is the Matrix? Thus people embrace the Matrix without knowing. But of course the unpredictable and imperfect nature of free will and the question caused the equation being unbalanced, creating bugs within the code as time goes by. It was a necessity for machines to reboot the Matrix every once in a while. Some people who become aware of Matrix was also creating anomalies within the Matrix, literally bugging the system out, to prevent the code becoming too unstable too fast. The Oracle created a new program which will seek and find those anomalies within the system and eventually plug them off. To make things easier for the program and to entertain the miraculous savior role the program will play, Oracle also implemented superhuman powers and ability to bend the Matrix to his will to a certain level to this new program. The program's name was the One. The first person was born in Matrix had powers. He was the one freed first of ours, as the Oracle spreads this prophecy among humans, leading them finding this promised Jesus, as it was in machines' favor to find these bugs as fast as possible. So you must be wondering, yes, some people are free from Matrix, but wouldn't it be a threat to machines if there are too many humans freed in real world? That leads us back to the second purpose of the One program. It was to create an illusion of struggle, fighting for humanity's freedom, while it was merely a theater played by machines to control free humans. The agents, the Zion, which is already built by machines, the freedom fighters, etc. All those were planned, controlled environment. Simple tools that machines created for humans to just keep them busy. So you see, this is not the first rodeo of human versus machine in Matrix. It's like 6th or 7th time that a program named Chosen One gathers humans that reject their system on subconscious level, brings them to Zion. While fighting to free all humanity, they breed and build until the population reaches to a number designated by machines as enough. Then machines raid the Zion, kills everyone, while the One, returning to the source code and agreeing to take only a couple of humans with him as the Matrix reboots, and the machines rebuilt the Zion while the freedom memory wiped 16 female and 7 male wander on Earth until the moment they find the Zion, thus turning the wheel all over again, but with Neo and Smith. Crap hit the fan. They are basically two opposite sides of the same code. One is cheat and the other is anti-cheat. When Neo destroyed the original Agent Smith first time, he unknowingly created a new Smith equal to him, as the code the architect wrote tried to balance things out. Smith didn't return to the source frame to be terminated. He realized now he suddenly had free will to choose to stay in the system. Now all he needed was a purpose. At the end, when the architect confronted Neo about the nature of Matrix and his purpose, Neo didn't choose to return to the source code. He said, "Yo, it's all cool, but there is this hot girl I like and I'ma go save her instead." Mad love, bro. He chooses Trinity to save over humanity, willingly, knowingly that the Matrix is bugging out. Once again, it was apparent that the architect completely overlooked human emotions, especially love, while building the final stage. Before Neo, none of the saviors were in love. They all logically chose to save the humanity. But Neo simply said, "Frick your logic, circle jerk. I'm doing what I want," to the architect and went to the right door, letting Agent Smith to run havoc as a virus while the Matrix crashing up until the moment it was completely unusable. And then you know the rest. Neo Karens the architect out by going to Machine City and directly talking to his manager and agrees to help machines to delete the Smith, as he was the one and Smith was the -1, cancelling each other out when they united. After when the virus gone, machines rebooted the Matrix, but this time Zion was untouched. Or what's left of it. The humans who knew about Matrix are let go from Matrix, basically breaking the status quo and agreeing peace. But machines are skeptical, knowing that humans are gonna break the peace first. Edit. Me no Englishing, and thank you for the gold. Mean Girls, as told by Regina George. This could also go dark. Her home life was obviously messed up. What was growing up in that household like? Imagine Regina flashbacks. Have you felt her mom's boobs? They're hard as rocks. Janice Ian psychologically fricks with someone who just moved in by making them pretend to be friends with someone and is then presented as the good person for being mad at Katie actually made friends with that person who she was instructed to be friendly with when she has literally no one else to talk to in new school. Not really related the point, but still. And then she gets to be hurt because Katie betrayed her. Like, damn, Janice, you are manipulative and not the good guy here. I thought the point of Mean Girls was that all of them were mean and crappy. While trying to stop the mean girls, Janice and Katie become them. Mean Girls is like The Great Gatsby in the early 2000s in high school. Everyone is kinda crap. You have an outside narrator that also kinda crap. Matrix, but from the perspective of a regular police detective trying to stop the murder spree of these crazy people who kill everybody without reason. At one point he would interrogate Neo. So you believe that nothing is real? That's why you can kill random people. Because they don't exist. No. The world is fake but the people are real. And you kill them anyway. Quote. That sounds like it could be exceptionally fun if the cop in question begins to learn to bend their rules of the Matrix. He is exposed to enough of the rebels' antics to believe and seek out the truth and how to experience it, but still decidedly falls on the side of people still living in the system. Defending the innocent so callously overlooked in this higher-level war. They mostly get their butt kicked, but manage to save just enough people, just enough of the time, to maintain a morale and sense of purpose. Later on, the Smith virus takes hold and they desperately try to create a hidden community in this world, meant to parallel the rebels' colony in the real world. And just as that begins to hopelessly fall in upon itself, the final fight ensues upon Neo's return. The story of how Grandpa Joe got into bed and then decided to just stay there, the lazy old C-word. Explain yourself. Grandpa Joe hate. Hip hip hooray. Get going. Go. Young Charlie's won a ticket. Joe, he's off today. He needs a friend, and you're the only one to send. But wait, of course, said Charlie's dad. Oh silly me, he whispered. Sad, I plain forgot you're trapped in bed. We'll have to send his ma instead. But Grandpa Joe was up and out. I'm fine. He cried and danced about. I know you are, said Father. Quick, I made it up, you lazy prick. Ender's Shadow did this exact thing with Ender's Game, done by the original author, no less. I was going to just say, Ender's Game from Bean's perspective to see who read the books. And it is brilliant. The whole Shadow series is seriously one of the best stories I've ever read. Series? I know only the first book. You're saying there were more? Or are you referring to the Speaker for the Dead stuff? Dude, the Shadow series is a must-read. Imagine if at one time in history, Alexander of Macedonia, Genghis Khan, Napoleon, Shaka Zulu, Caesar, Hitler, and Sun Tzu were all duking it out. So a game of CIV basically. Toy Story. Andy, a young boy who enjoys playing with his toys in his spare time, often wanders into his room to find things. Off. Something may have moved. A toy may have vanished only to reappear the next day. Voices are heard from his room from the ground floor only to hear a slight panic then silence whenever he approaches the room again. And imagine, one day, if he heard this talking once again only to walk into his room. Hear the split-second shock to silence just to see his favorite cowboy toy laying on the floor. Only this time, just before he laid his eyes on the toy, he could see in the corner of his eye the left hand of Woody just slightly flop to the ground. Flop to the ground as if he just fell. But how could a toy fall if it was laying on the ground to begin with? As if it was laying on the ground the whole time. He begins to think that he is never truly alone in his room anymore, and those beady toy eyes that face him in the night while he's sleeping aren't just facing him out of chance. They're watching him, they're looking. Andy isn't alone, nor was he ever alone. This is the tale of a boy who loses his mind at the thought that he has never been alone for his entire life, and that the friends he made growing up may be a little more real than he first thought. A little too real. I'd rather see a Sid movie that shows how he reacts to finding out toys are alive. He's probably the only human who knows. I like to imagine that he became a garbage man to rescue thrown away toys. You just simultaneously ruined my childhood, and made me extremely nervous about my GF stuffed animals sleeping in our room. Oh God, the things you two do in front of them. Willy Wonka from the point of view of an Oompa Loompa who is working to ignite a slave rebellion amongst his people. Oompa Loompa Doopity Dad sees the means of production. Comrades. Edit. Thanks for my first ever awards. Guys. You. Gonzo the Great 93. Oompa Loompa Doopity Doo. Who benefits from the labor we do? We organize to vouch for our few. Ben Willie Candy, the head of our crew. We still live and work for him too. Solidarity's our only way through. Oompa Loompa Doopity Dee. Fight the man so someday we're free. I wish I had gold to give you. Frozone. Where was his supersuit? Frozone and his wife as a romantic comedy. Is she super? Is she ordinary? Does that make the least difference to her? Just keep the gag of never showing her on screen. But still make the entire movie canted around her. Edit. Centered, not canted. It's a Wonderful Life from Mary, the wife's point of view. Married to a dreamer with fits of depression, while raising 4 kids, rebuilding a beautiful old Victoria house, helping him make his dream passion of helping his community come true and trying to protect him from his loser uncle, all while watching him spiral into a deeper and deeper depression. Will she be able to help him out of it? Edit. Change dream to passion. Absolutely, she can help him out of it. I'd almost argue that Mary is the most important character in that movie. She drives a large amount of the action. Who declares marriage at the age of like 8? Mary. Who offers their honeymoon money to save the bank? Mary. Who goes around asking neighbors and friends for help against the feds when George goes missing? Mary. She's the best. Not to mention buying an old house and fixing it up while having 4 kids underfoot and helping all the working class neighbors move into their new homes. Dealing with a mother who obviously didn't like her choice in husbands and constantly being an optimist. Movie should have been called It's a Wonderful Wife. I get a little ticked at George every time he goes up the stairs and gets pissy because she hasn't gotten around to fixing the banister yet. John Wick would become a horror film. There's a couple scenes where he just comes off as this horrible unstoppable machine. A whole movie of that would be wild. Foot soldiers pissing themselves because they know Wick is gonna murk them but they have no option but to die fighting. I still like the part where he talks to the one bodyguard casually, then ends it with, "Why don't you take the night off?" And they reply, "I think I will." He knows exactly what is about to go down and he just nopes the frick out without hesitation. Francis. He even says, "Thank you, Mr. Wick," before he takes out his earpiece and leaves. Man, that whole universe is just a built atmospheric AF. It reminds me of scene from Batman the Animated Series where a goon sees him and walked away. U2.be. Jurassic Park Lost World, except from Ingun's perspective. Ingun means nobody in Norwegian, so your comment confused me for a sec. Jurassic Park from the Velociraptor's perspective. He's right, I am a clever girl. Alan. Edit. Woo her, my first gold. Thank you, kind stranger. Hot Fuzz, but from the perspective of the neighborhood watch. From the perspective of the swan. 500 Days of Summer, from Summer's perspective. JGL had a very good tweet about this. Coraline, but the cat's all YBs for you. Thanks for watching LWIAR 2. The best of all time r/AskReddit submissions and comments. If you like this video, check out the original LWIAR channel. And don't forget to like and subscribe.